Man, I gotta be real with you, this one made me stop for a second. You know that feeling when something does not seem urgent, but deep down you can tell it might change everything for this team? Yeah, that is exactly where we are right now. Because on the surface, it looks like we are solid, like there is no reason to even be talking about this. But behind the scenes, there is movement, there is pressure, and there is a decision coming that could impact the Eagles for years. And what is crazy is, if this actually happens, it is not just a small adjustment. This is the kind of move that shifts the future of the roster in a big way. So before we get into it, do me a quick favor. If you are a real Eagles fan and you ride with this team no matter what, hit that like button and subscribe. We are trying to hit our first 100 subscribers, and it is just Eagles fans talking Eagles football here. Alright, let us talk about what is really going on. So according to Todd McShay over at The Ringer, the Philadelphia Eagles are being projected to make a major move on draft night. Not sit back, not play it safe, but actually trade up. The scenario is a deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And listen to this package. The Eagles would send picks 23, 68, and 114 just to move up to pick number 15. That is not a small move. That is aggressive. That is Howie Roseman saying, I am going to get my guy no matter what. And the guy in question is Monroe Freeling out of University of Georgia. Now here is where it gets even crazier. Freeling was not even supposed to be in this conversation a few months ago. He was being talked about as a day 2 pick, solid developmental, nothing flashy. But then the scouting combine happened and this dude blew it up in Indianapolis. Since then, his stock has absolutely skyrocketed. We are talking about someone who has been linked as high as the 6th overall pick to the Cleveland Browns at one point. So if he somehow slips into that mid-teens range, I can totally see Howie making that call. And McShay even said it straight up, there is no way. Howie Roseman is just going to sit there and watch teams like the Detroit Lions or the Pittsburgh Steelers jump ahead and take the offensive tackle he wants. That part feels real. That feels like Howie. But here is where I am torn, because let us be honest with each other for a second. Is tackle really the biggest need on this team right now? You have already got Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata holding things down. When healthy, that is one of the best tackle duos in football, no question. But this is the part nobody can ignore anymore. Lane Johnson is 36 years old. He just came off a season where he only played 10 games because of a Lisfranc injury, and those are no joke. That is the kind of injury that can linger, especially at his age. And let us not forget, he already seriously considered retirement. So now you are the Eagles front office, and you are looking at this like, do we wait and risk being unprepared, or do we act now while we still have control? That is what this move is really about. It is not about replacing Lane Johnson today. It is about making sure you are not scrambling tomorrow. And to be fair, this draft class is deep at tackle. So striking now, getting ahead of the curve, securing a potential franchise tackle like Freeling, there is logic there. But man, giving up 3 picks for a player who might not even start immediately for a team that still has holes from that rough second half of 2025, that is where it gets risky. Because this team is not in rebuild mode. This is a team that is only 2 seasons removed from a Super Bowl. The expectation is to compete right now. So if you make this move, you better be right. Because if Freeling turns into the next cornerstone at tackle genius, absolute Howie masterclass, but if he takes time to develop and you passed on someone who could have helped immediately, yeah, fans are going to remember that. And that is why this is such a fascinating moment for the Eagles. It is not just about one player, it is about direction. It is about whether this front office is thinking more about the future or still all in on winning right now. At the end of the day, I get it. I really do. Lane Johnson has been a 6-time Pro Bowler, a cornerstone, a warrior for this team, but time catches up to everyone, and the Eagles are trying to stay ahead of that reality. So if Monroe Freeling is truly their guy, do not be surprised if they go get him. Now, I want to hear from you. Would you make this trade? Would you give up those picks to move up and draft Freeling, or would you stay put and fill a more immediate need? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let us talk about it. And if you are new here, this is Eagles Insider Daily. We keep it real, we talk like fans, and we do not sugarcoat anything. So go ahead, like the video, subscribe, and help us hit that first 100 subscribers. Because if you bleed green like I do, you already know. This season is going to be one hell of a ride.